everyone. Welcome to the Private Lounge, all about the joy with Cynthia, Rick, Mario, and Alma, and myself. Hi, everyone.
What's up?
Hello.
Yeah, so I'm really excited because we're doing this kind of closed private lounge thing, and it's so much fun. And today we're going to talk about my favorite subject, friendships. Hello. I sent you all kind of the little syllabus. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. Syllabus. But I'll tell you what happened this week that kind of spurred this on. There were a couple things. Cynthia sent me an Instagram. I think I sent it to all of you so you could see it. I think all of you had posted on it and had sent it to me before. But one of the other things that happened was I was with a client. We're in this, it was a 3-person meeting thing. And I got a text message from one of my good friends. Her father died. And as I have a different ring for all my like good friends. None of you, but no, I'm just kidding.
But the Sade of it all.
No, so
we get the warning
sign. I have a story about that, but we'll wait.
But we were in the middle of this like deep conversation. It was a lawyer, one of my other clients, whatever. And I turned around and I was like, excuse me, I need to step out of this meeting for like, it wasn't even a question. Now that client was like, Carmen, it's all good. No problem. Cause she knows how I am. And I stepped out and I made the phone call and that's how I found out what happened. You know what I mean? I talked to her, whatever. And it started like, there are people I wouldn't do that for. Like I wouldn't mess with my clients. You know what I mean? And so it started me thinking about friendships. And so I wanted to talk about what friendship means to you. We could start with that. And I don't know, Cynthia, do you want to go first? I don't know.
Sure. I mean, like the video I sent you, I sent it to everyone.
Maybe describe the video because describe
the video was the actual scene from, I believe it was The Town, I believe was the movie with Ben Affleck. And he walks in and he's talking to Jeremy Renner and we're about to do some bad things and hurt some people, but don't ask me questions. And the other one's just like, okay, whose car are we taking? Like that's a friendship. No questions, nothing. It's like, all right, where are we going? Let's go. That's the type of friendship I feel like that's your ride or die person, you know?
We had this conversation before. Remember we had all these people were on or whatever, and they were talking about ride or die. And I was confused what ride or die means because I'm like, my best friend is my best friend. Ride or die is not even a question. You know what I mean? But Rick, what were you thinking about kind of that video or kind of what friendship means to you?
Yeah, like my best friend now, when I was in an accident, he lives like maybe 30 minutes away. I called him. I said, I got in an accident. He was there in 20 minutes. I'm like, oh, you drove fast. Like, for real, like ride or die. Like anytime I need anything, that boy is always there. Flat tire. One time because the car repair place is like maybe a couple of blocks, but I live at the top of a hill. And I was like, I ain't gonna call a tow truck just to go a couple of blocks. That seems silly. So he came again, at that point it was more than half an hour, and we pushed it because I was too cheap to get a tow truck. Twice. It's happened twice.
Okay, we need to get you AAA, but that's a whole other conversation. And if AAA wants to sponsor us, we're available for that. AAA is free 3 times a year unless you have the premium. But that's a good validation of a great friend. They'll come and help you do something so you don't have to spend like moving costs. Like whenever I have to move, I'm like, let's see who my friends is. Now that I've gotten older, though, I don't do that to my friends, right? Because we're all 40 and stuff. Like I don't do that to my friends. But back in the day, that was the test. Who gonna come and help me move? Mario, Alma, thought process.
As far as like all of my friends have been like friends now for probably 35, 40 years. Like all of my best friend, she's Marissa's godmother, and Alma's best friend is also Marissa's godmother. They've been like, if we call them for anything, they're just dropping everything and they're coming. Friendship, that's what a ride or die is. I have a few people who will pull up. Like I have another friend on the thug side. If I need somebody handled, I know who to call.
Like the movie.
I do. I know who to call.
Write that down. Wait a minute, 1 second. Go ahead, Alma.
So same. I can count my really good friends on one hand. Have a lot of acquaintances, but my very best friend, we've been best friends since we were 12. And it's never been, no matter how long we go without speaking or anything that's happening in our lives. We always pick up right where no time has passed. And there's been a few times where we haven't connected for a span of time, but it's never diminished the bond or the love. It's always been that way between us. I love her. She's my sister. She's not my best friend. She's my sister. That's my chosen family.
It's funny because my friends from when I was in grammar school, who were my best friends, or when I danced or whatever, it's so funny because for me, friendships have changed over the years. Like those were my good friends, and they're still on Facebook or whatever. But I don't know if I would say they're my best friends anymore because it's changed. My relationships have changed. So it's interesting that for you, that's still that same person. I love that. I'm jealous. It's cool.
Yeah. And I actually have another one, same era, but our friendship is strong, but she's not my best friend. But we're really good friends and we still connect once a month. We go have breakfast or lunch and, but I used to have a lot more friends and most of them, like you, they've fallen off. I've kept those two for sure, very strong.
How do you guys stay in touch with your friends? What are some of the ways in which you stay in touch with old friends, new friends, best friends?
I believe in picking up the phone. So I will call,
That's Gen X. That's Gen X.
I'll text, and actually when my sister moved away, because she got married and she moved away, we would write to each other.
Mhm.
So we would write letters and cards. We were on different journeys spiritually, and she was, I'll say, ahead of me. So she was very encouraging to me on my spiritual path. So then that also really bonded us a lot because, really early on in our marriage, we had a lot of challenges with Mario's health and everything. And being newlyweds and having those challenges, she had already been married. We would write, but definitely I pick up the phone. I'm the kind that will pick up the phone and at least just say, actually just did it last night. Hey, I just wanted to call and hear your voice. You doing okay? It doesn't have to be a long phone call, but just letting them thinking about you. Do you need anything? And just have a quick a check-in.
Okay. Rick, what's your thought process on how you stay in touch with friends?
So pretty much my best friend, his name's Corey, pretty much mostly the only one I really interact with on a regular basis at all because, again, my situation, mom, all my friends are from church who are in a city about 45 minutes away. And we use this app called Marco Polo, which if you never heard of it, it's similar to FaceTime, but it's not live. So that way, I just saw a funny video on this. It was two guys and two girls talking. Like, if somebody FaceTimes you, do you answer right away always? And the girls, yeah. And the boys are like, no, you got to let me know. You got to text me ahead of time. Like it's a schedule. But that's why I like Marco Polo, because you just simply record a message. And when they want, they can look at it and at their convenience. So that's how we primarily talk. Yeah. And that's how we've actually talked the whole time, even before when I was, quote, free. We constantly use that app. And yeah, it's awesome. I love it. It's awesome because we've maintained.
Is that like Instagram? It's like a voice note? Or?
It's video.
Oh, it's video. It's video.
Yeah. Okay. But it's not live like FaceTime. Like I don't say, wait for him to answer. No, I just record it. And then when he sees it, he'll respond back.
Got you. Go ahead, Mario. How do you stay in touch with friends?
I mean, for me, it's phone, but phone call primarily. Social media has come into play to help me relocate, not relocate, but reconnect with certain people. Yeah. And then after that, that's about it. But some people, I'm okay with you falling off because you weren't a good friend when you were around, so it's fine. But other people, it's a happy reconnection. And text, calling, but primarily calling because I don't. Sometimes people can talk too long via text. I'd rather just call.
I hate the whole texting thing. I'm not good at it. I'm not good at the whole texting for paragraph long conversations. I can't stand it. If that's me being old, I'm embracing it. It's all good.
There's also a lot of people that use the voice thing. They don't text. They're texting, but they're talking into the phone.
I do that. Yeah.
I I think like Alma said, sometimes I just want to have a live conversation. I want to have that connection. I get it. I do the voice notes too and stuff, but I just feel like sometimes you need to, like when Mia texts me, it's her father who died. When she texts me, I knew what she was doing, but I picked up that phone. I was like, and I knew that what she wanted was to have a conversation. Like even if she didn't think that's I knew that's what my best friend needed. That's what my best friend needed. And all I did was, you okay? And then the whole conversation came out, and I said nothing except at the end, what can I do for you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm here. Cynthia?
With me, I think it depends on who it is. Some friends will text back and forth. Others will call, and then sometimes I'll have dinner or like brunch or whatever with a couple other friends. So it just depends on who it is and how we'd like to communicate. But it's between texting and phone calls usually.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have a
I don't
couple of
remember
friends
us doing brunch. I don't remember. Is that different because we're not friends? Is that like family? I don't remember the brunch thing, but whatever.
my jet was broken. It was in the shop.
But
It was in
Mario,
the
you
shop.
had brought up something, and I wanted to know, like you said, some things have changed over time. I know our friendship was really developing and solid when I was at brand new school and you were at City National Bank. And it was just it was a professional relationship, but then it totally delved into something else because I needed the therapy you were providing. Like for me, it was a really solid friendship. And then I got to meet
Absolutely.
Alma, and then over time, here's what I love about you. And this is what I think real friendship is about. We didn't talk for years. We were on each other's Facebook or whatever, and for whatever reason. But the minute we were like connected again, and I forget why we talked again or whatever, it wasn't like, why didn't you call me?
No, there's no time
Why
pass.
didn't you talk to me? Like it was like, oh, yesterday we were together. Now it's been a few years, but hey, what's up?
Yeah, it was like those are the friends you want. Where if time gets away, you just pick up right where you left off because that means it was a solid friendship to begin with. Some people you can let them fall off, and you're okay with that because I know I am.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, that's a sign of a good friend and a true friend is when you can pick up where you left off.
And it's easy, right?
Easy peasy.
Friends that bring me drama are not friends. They become acquaintances very quick.
Save for the people in the back.
It's for real though. It's for real. We talked a little bit about technology, so I don't want to step there, but what are some red flags in your friendships? And I feel like Alma might be able to just jump in this, but what are some, because I really believe you need to define for yourself what a friend is and what an acquaintance is. And if you blur them lines, that's where you get in trouble. And I'm just curious for you, what are some red flags?
I think for me, over the years in this, as you get older, you definitely get wiser with how people treat you, but you really have to watch not what people say, but what they actually do. And I think that's like a big thing. I think that over the years, I would definitely let some people go because of that. Another red flag is if you find yourself with someone who's always in competition with you instead of celebrating you and allowing you to celebrate. If you're celebrating them, but they're not celebrating you, red flag.
Yep.
If the only time they reach out to you is because they need something, then big red flag. But then when you in turn need something, they never pick up, they didn't get the call, they missed the text, red flag. So just those have been, but the really big one for me was your friendship should never be a place where you feel demeaned or a place where someone is making you feel less than. And if you're in a friendship that's like that, it's not a friendship. So get out.
Go ahead, Cynthia. I know you
Get
got
out.
words.
No, I'm agreeing 100% with Alma. It's true. You guys know I started this new job a few months ago, and I observe people. I observe them to see how they, like you said, how they treat people, how they talk about other people, because then you know already what they're about. If they're gonna do
Yes.
they're gonna do the exact same thing
Yes, same thing.
to you. And my old job, I knew everybody there for 10 years. So I knew who were my friends, who are my sisters, and I still talk to them. I hang out with them. We have lunch, stuff like that. So you just observe and just watch them and see how they treat others. And that's when you know.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just say something?
Of course, of course.
Another red flag is my grandmother and mother both say if a person will bring a bone, they'll carry a bone.
Ooh.
Meaning, if they're coming gossiping to you, you better
Mhm.
believe they're going back gossiping about you.
That's
So
right.
Right.
that is not a friend. Take that for all you listeners. Remember, if they bring a bone, they'll carry a bone.
Ooh, that's a good one. Right. If somebody's coming and telling you bunchinchera and whatever, and like they're like gossiping, they doing the same thing.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Turned around talking to somebody else. Ooh, that's a good one. Mm-hmm.
That's not a real friend.
No, that's not even an acquaintance.
No.
Mm.
Oh,
Okay,
What
yeah.
this
about you,
is in
Carmen?
class. I ain't in charge. Go ahead, Rick. I'm just
What-
trying to move the conversation on so that we make sure Cynthia and Rick. Here's one of the things I noticed, and I'm gonna leave this in the track. Like it's so hard to get you two to speak. You
Yeah,
know
but
what I
so
mean?
far you've been saying so and so talk, so
I know,
and so.
but
We
I'm
were
just trying to
waiting.
get the movement. I'm trying to get the movement going, not to be like, just get the conversation going. Feel free to
This is
say
trying
your
to
Yeah, I
follow
think
the
piece.
this.
director and the producer.
Mm,
And then the idea is to get the flow going. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like
I
the
got you.
understood. I think a big thing is also give and take.
Mm.
Should be pretty much more or less equal give and take. But if it's like I'm giving, and all you doing is taking, I'm sorry, vampire, I don't need you. Like you are just taking. And that's draining. And who wants to be around somebody that constantly takes and
Mhm.
never gives? Oh, but I'm your friend. I'm your friend. Yeah. Because you keep
sometimes it's
losing.
hard to see though, isn't it? Sometimes it's hard. Like
Sometimes at
when you're
first.
in it and you
Mhm.
really like somebody, it's hard to see it. It's hard to
Mhm.
see it in the
And that's
beginning.
not just with friendships. That's any relationship.
Yeah.
That's with family. That's with spouses. That's any relationship. It always
Mhm.
should be a give and take.
Yeah.
I'm
I
having a light
agree.
bulb moment. I'm sorry, what? All relationships has to be given.
I think especially with family, especially I think in the Latino culture, you're so conditioned to, well, that's your family.
Mhm.
That's your
Mhm.
family. And so then when you are giving and there's no, and of course we're taught that you don't give expecting anything in return, but there has to be boundaries. So I'm happy for this era that we're in about boundaries and people learning boundaries. And I definitely worked really hard on breaking that cycle for my daughter and not being, because we're really conditioned to be people pleasers. So it's a hard cycle to break.
And it's
But
weird
once,
because the truth is we need reciprocation. We're
yes,
social beings. I love people like, no, I don't need anything. When I give, what I get back is the joy that I gave. There is something in giving, even if you donating money, donating your time, whatever. What I get back in that is a feeling of joy.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
it's the same thing
yes,
with friendships. And so I hear you. And I don't know if it's just to the Latino community, but it's for sure the Latino community. We definitely are people pleasers and definitely all about we need to expect nothing and blah blah blah. And
yes,
I think that's
yes.
also
And
a
that's,
version of Christianity too. You know what I mean? The whole sacrificing, humility, humbleness. And there's something in that I understand, but we go too far. We go too far.
There's nothing wrong with reciprocity. I think there should be always be reciprocity, but I also believe I'm the type of friend where I pour into my friends, but I can't empty my cup pouring into you.
That's
I
right.
have
Right.
if I'm pouring into you, guess what, friend? Every now and then I need you to pour into me. I might not need as much, but I need you to pour into me. But you need a friend who is aware. That's a good friend because if they're aware, I say, my friend needs something. Or, hey, friend, what do you need? I see your patterns have changed. You've gotten quiet. What's going on? How can I help? That's the type of friend you need. Or picking up the phone and leaving a message and just say, hey, friend, even
Mhm.
if they don't pick up, and say, hey, friend, I'm thinking about you. Because there are so many times when I was sick, I couldn't pick up the phone. But getting that message got me through. And that's the sign of a true friend, just helping somebody push through.
It was funny this morning, I was thinking to myself at work, I'm like, oh man, I have to call my friend Marie and Nini. I haven't talked to them in a while. And don't you know, within an hour or two, Nini's calling me like, hey, I'm here. Let's have lunch. I was like, oh my God. I was like, I was just thinking about you.
I love
Little
when that
things like
happens.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love when that happens.
So little things like that are good and show you who your friends really are.
I think for me too, this happened with Alden. I know he listening. That's why I'm saying his name. He pissed me off, and I didn't understanding who your friends are and understanding how they behave. So on his birthday, I did not wish him a happy birthday because I was pissed because I ain't like that. I ain't going to be like, oh yeah, happy birthday. You know what I mean? I know. I am mean. I know.
That's petty.
Happy birthday, Alden, if you're listening.
Yeah, happy birthday.
But wait, so he then in turn on my birthday, because we hadn't talked for months because we had a falling out. I still loved him, but we had a falling out, and it was major. It was a major thing. And then I missed his birthday on purpose. And then on my birthday, he called me. And I picked up the phone. Yes, he did. He was like, happy birthday. And I was like, look, I know I didn't call you on your birthday. I did it on purpose. And he's like, I know you did. I'm just saying, knowing your friends, and that's what I appreciated about him. He knew that I was pissed. He could not talk to me at that time. He waited so that then we could laugh about it on my birthday. You know what I mean? Like he did what he needed to do. And I think that's the other thing I appreciate. Now, he could have chosen never to talk to me again. I would have been fine with that. That's how angry I was. But I would have missed him. But still, I was so upset. But
he knew. He knew to give you your time. And I'm going to call her on the right day, and I'm going to get her.
But I think that's also a mark of a good friend who knows you well enough. You know what I mean? Yeah. Me and Andrea have had some moments. It's rare. So when me and Andrea have moments, she knows how I am. I will just avoid talking to her. You know what I mean? But she's different. She ain't going to wait till her birthday. She going to call me when she ready to. And she'll be like, pick up the phone. You know what I mean? Pick up the phone. I need to talk to you. Oh, I'm petty. I'm petty like that.
You say petty-luya because you are petty.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Petty LaBelle.
Petty LaBelle.
You know what? When I get angry, it's rare. When I get angry at somebody for doing something I think is unethical, immoral, I will not talk to you. I just won't do it. Doesn't mean I don't love you, but I need some time.
The thing is, you can also, when you're mad with a friend, a true friend, you're supposed to be able to pick up the phone and say, hey, this is what pissed me off. I love you through it.
I let him know. But I let him know. We had a screaming match about it. But that's what I'm saying is then we didn't talk. I don't want to talk about me and Alden in my relationship. What I'm trying to say is I think a best friend or a real friend who knows you knows that about you.
Yeah.
And will reach out to you anyway. And I was being petty, but I was angry, and he doesn't live here. It's not like I could walk to his house and scream and yell and have a fight. Like I hung up the phone. He hung up the phone. I tried to call. And I'm like, that's it. It's over. I'm not going to call him on his birthday. I was pissed. And so it was really cool when he called me because I was like, damn. It was so cool.
How you felt?
Nope, didn't feel like that at all.
Not at all.
I felt loud. I felt that's a man who loves me, and I love him, and he gets me, and he understands that we could work through it. So I actually don't fight with people. When I'm really angry with you, I think Rick and I, or Cynthia and I talked, Cynthia knows. When I'm really mad at you, you're not going to hear from me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's not what happened with Mario. Oh, you're saying that's what you like. Oh, I thought you meant
that's
me
what I
and
do.
That's what he's like.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, I thought you were saying that's what happened between me and you.
No, if I'm seething, you better be afraid of my silence.
That's okay. That's what happened with me and Alden. That's what happened. What did you just do? What was that?
A notification popped up in the middle of my screen.
When I'm seething, boom.
Boom, you're out the door. You're out.
Side left, no.
When Cynthia first started on the app, on doing the live stream, she was cleaning the camera. She was like, she literally did that. It was so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
But I wanted to ask, because Cynthia was talking about friends at the workplace. I
Mhm.
don't. Okay, so the first location where I was there for 20 plus years,
wow.
and I learned some very hard lessons there. You can't be friends with your coworkers. That's my experience. I
Mhm.
had because a lot of people cannot separate when you're a supervisor. They cannot separate the
Mhm.
friendship from the work, and they take it personally.
Mhm.
When I moved over to this new location where I am very um, purposefully,
Cognizant.
very,
Cognizant.
yes, of not blurring those lines.
Mhm.
And it's definitely helped me to be able to be more efficient, because I'm able to say, hey, this is not correct. This is what it is. And just be able to roll with it without having to consider, oh, what is this going to do to the friendship? Because there is
But I
no
think the
friendship.
difference is you were in a different position than maybe what Cynthia's talking about. I'm not friends with my clients. I have 2 clients who are like, let's go and have a drink. I'm like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Never. Do you know what I mean? Because I have to handle their money. I've been through that. I've already been through that. But are there other people that work in a similar position that I do with other people that I might mingle with? Sure. You know what I mean? But I also would never be friends with somebody who is, and I say this respectfully, that I supervise or is below me. Does that make sense? So
Mhm.
you're talking about your
Yeah.
coworkers, you're actually a team, you're all on the same level
Right.
pretty much.
Yeah. Because I would never do that with my supervisor, or if I was a supervisor. I would never do that. But I'm talking
Hold
about
on.
like my equal
Yeah. I'm
coworker.
curious what happened. You can't share that. What happened with the other experience? You can't really share that.
Um,
You can say without telling names.
It
well,
sounds juicy. What happened? Like,
It's relations.
I know.
it's salacious. It's just people get their feelings hurt, and so then they want to say, "Oh, you should have just let me know without
Uh,
without
calling me
making
out
it
or something.
official," or things like that. And it's no, because then that brings into question like you said, my integrity. So no, I'm not going to do that for anyone, literally. So it's no. So, like I said, it was just a lesson for myself to know that even though I'm able to separate, other people can't always.
Well,
Yeah.
Mario knows at brand new school that happened to me. I was friends with all them people. And when things got really bad, I quit on the spot. I
Yeah.
quit on the spot. And Jonathan was like a brother to me. I knew his mom very well. Like I was all up in it. And that's where I learned my lesson. Never
And that was a
again.
mistake.
And
Huge
same,
mistake.
I was there for people, for their kids' birth, for weddings, for parents' deaths, all of those things, not just as a coworker, but as a friend. And it, like you said, it was like, I was like, nope, never again. I won't do this again.
Because at the end of the day, also your boss is your boss and I mean,
Yeah.
that's what happened with Jonathan. He then thought it was okay to talk to me the way he did. And not only was he wrong about talking to me in that way anyway, but it also was like, wait, what about our friendship? I thought you like my little brother. And it was, he was like, you are not my sister. You know what I mean?
No, exactly.
He was like, I am your boss and I am choosing to do this. And I'm like, then I quit. And that's how that happened. It was hardcore.
Yeah.
Then there was like a whole other yelling, screaming match thing that happened after that. It was horrible. Leaving brand new school was the best thing I ever did. I should have done it 4 years before. But the way it happened was so sad because I had put my heart and soul into that company. Heart and soul
I
into it.
remember.
I know. Rick, what about you?
I mean, as far as work, I can be shocking, a little naive, and think, yeah, these people are my friends. These people are my friends. But then when you leave, all of a sudden, it's who? They don't know you at all. They don't care. We ain't work with them no more. They don't even care. Even if they're on social media, like I've tried reaching out to people. Sometimes they answer something real brief, or they don't even say nothing back. They don't even bother looking, checking, nothing, whatever. And yeah, I could be a little naive that way, thinking, yeah, we're friends. Yeah, at work, but that's it. It don't go further than that. you know?
What about internet? You have a lot of friends you met on apps and you met online. I think that's interesting too, like the dynamic of how social media helps us, especially when we're isolated in whatever our job or state is. Especially the situation you're in is very, I don't want to say unique because there are a lot of people going through what you're going through, taking care of a parent and stuff. But I think, is it harder for you, excuse me, to make friends because you're relying on online relationships, but you've met a lot of people that you've met online, and how is that different or good, or you know what I mean, like what is that like?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely not the same as face to face, being able to talk to somebody face to face, because most of the right now probably more friends online than in real life, because again, the
I'm
situation.
your friend, Rick. Don't you worry. I am your friend. You can call me.
I feel it. You just
You got it.
out my name. Oh no, that's another song. Anyway, but yeah, so it's definitely different. It's definitely not the same as face to face. Let's go to the movies. I can't say that with somebody who lives across the country.
Yeah.
But can I say I've had real friendships that way? Yeah, not maybe quite as deep, but almost as deep as a face to face.
I think you've been hurt only because I know of the situation. I know you've been hurt as deeply as I've been in person with friendships, because our emotions, I don't think, change if it's online versus in real life. Is that fair to say for you? I don't want to speak on your behalf, but I just know of a certain situation where I think you were really hurt by what happened. And I think that's real too. I think social media does matter. It doesn't make it any less fake of a friendship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because even though I said before, it's give and take, I feel like I'm a giver, and it's just naturally that way. Like I want to give to my detriment, like even if it hurts, even if it's like you're hurting yourself because you be taking care of you, but I'll be like, but I need to help them. I've already had therapy about this. They said I got a messianic complex, okay? Meaning, you think you're the Messiah, you're going to save everybody. I know. And I even had the nerve to say to him, and I go, what's wrong with that? That's wrong with that you don't know that's wrong with. So, yeah, I'm working on it.
I don't think there's anything wrong. I mean, I think you're a good person, and this is the flip side of it. I think you want the best in people, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think the situation that I know of, it's like when you're in it, you cannot see it. When you're in it, you cannot see the hole you're in. You can't see above. You can't see it. You're not even looking up. And I think people intentionally or unintentionally will take advantage of that. And I think that's what was happening with that situation. And I'm sorry you went through that. And we've all gone through that, but I don't think it's any different from social media or in real life. And I think that's the other part of it too, because I've been through it before. I saw it easily.
Yeah.
So once you've experienced, you'll never let that happen again. You won't.
I think in real life, for us, I think it's every time we reached another, I'll say, a milestone for our lives, we've had people fall off.
Yeah.
People who we thought were really going to go the distance would just, oh, okay, so I see you now. And it really hurt. I'll say first, when we got engaged.
Yeah.
When we got engaged, we saw a few people's true colors. And it was like, okay. Then when we got married, it was like a whole nother, like another group of people not understanding how our marriage works.
I think that's more of a jealousy thing.
Yes.
But again, but that's all not friends, because
instead of celebrating, and then when soon after he was ill, and it was like, that was really eye-opening to see the people who, like I said, you watch their actions and not their words. There were a lot of words spoken, oh, whatever you need, whenever you need it, all of those things. And then when you call on them, nowhere to be found. And it's very isolating when you're going through that, not just for me as a caretaker, but for him also not being well. It's isolating in different ways for both of us. And then to have those people who you were counting on, really, not for anything more than just the friendship or the support, to just drop you because they don't know how to deal with what your situation is at that time.
The true test of who someone isn't when things are easy. It's when
Yeah,
things are hard.
yeah, yeah.
And
But
that's
I'll tell you
very
what,
true.
the next time that we really saw a change was when we had our daughter.
Mm.
Because then it was like a whole nother group of people who were like, oh, you have a kid now. Your life is over now. You're not going to be able to do anything.
Oh my
Mm.
God.
Like it
So
was, I'm
weird.
telling you, it was just like, it's like at every like different, like I said, like a milestone, whether it be good or bad. Mario and I always really talk about it and just say God removes those people you don't need just to make room for the people who you do need, who are going to be there for you.
On the flip side, did you see the opposite where people that you didn't realize would come through and just were there for you? Did you see that?
I'll say not, I'll say it was the true blue people who were we already
Always
knew were
there.
going
Yeah.
to
I know
to
when
be there.
Mario's upset with somebody because he be preaching on Facebook or Instagram. I'm like, ooh, somebody did Mario wrong because he will post something and you just know.
Yeah, because the thing is, I'm loyal to a fault.
Mm.
But and I ride hard for my friends,
Mhm.
and I have learned not to pour my expectations on them. I have to meet people where they are and understand that we are not in the same space. However, there is a standard and a level that I expect in any friendship. I expect honesty. I expect communication. And when those things don't come through, and I've asked you and I've told you directly what I'm searching for, or not searching for, but what I'm looking for in a friendship, and you don't come through, yeah, then I gotta cut you loose because I'm getting too old. Life is too short. I don't have time for the bullshit. It's either piss or get off the pot if you're gonna be here. If you're not, step off. I don't have time. But my friends, like my real true blues, have been my true blues.
Mm-hmm.
I had one person show up at my door when I had my kidney transplant out of the blue. I thought he was coming to rekindle the friendship. No, he was coming to clear his conscience. Okay, but
Mm.
do you? I saw him that one time. He showed up at my door. He with his
Ooh.
tail tucked between his legs, and I just want to apologize. Okay, thank you. And then I never heard from him again, which was fine.
Um,
But don't do. I'm not here to. I'm not your priest. I'm not your counselor. You shouldn't have showed up. That's not being a friend. And then same thing about the ringtones. I got to come back to that.
Oh, yeah.
The
Um,
ringtones? The ringtones?
Sometimes we, as our friends,
Special
we have special
ringtones.
ringtones for our friends,
Yeah.
certain people, right?
Well, I'm going to call you
So
right now, see what rings. No,
don't do that because
really?
somebody. Okay, that's the whole
I'm
point of
kidding.
this
I'm
story.
kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, that's the whole point of this story. I have a friend, and I called him my brother. So his ringtone came on. I was in the hospital. It says your brother's on the phone, and so it comes. I pick up. I'm like, hey, bro, I can't talk to you right now. Another friend was in the room, and he calls me his bro. But we were we just working on that friendship. So he picks up the phone to see if he gets a ringtone. It's just a regular ringtone, and his feelings were hurt. When I say he was butt hurt, and he has never recovered. Like even right now,
Oh,
we're friends, but we're not the same over a ringtone.
so that's awesome.
wow.
So I'm telling you, it's crazy. Like these ringtones, and I'm like, come on, y'all. He was devastated. Was he not? Devastated.
Well, one actually
Yeah.
has a special ringtone for me, and it's hilarious. So when I call it, it says, "Warning, it's the wife." So anytime I call him and he's around, like people outside or his friends or whatever, they think first they hear the siren and they're like, "What's going on? What's going on?" and then they hear it's the wife. It's the wife. They just start cracking up.
Okay, I have a client who has and it's the only reason why I know the Star Wars theme, Darth Vader. I'm like, that is wrong. That is so
I don't
wrong.
know what my husband has.
Alma's
Doom,
ringtone.
doom, doom, doom. Every time.
Alma's ringtone is "Nasty Girl" by Vanity.
Oh, that's good. Oh, you need to keep that secret. But you probably have to tell people because you're like, no. That's the wife. That's the wife.
That's the wife.
That's the wife, baby. Yeah.
And then one time, and then another friend I was super pissed off with, and I changed the ringtone and I forgot to change it back. So the ringtone said, "Asshole calling." Asshole calling.
Oh, that's not petty.
Hallelujah.
Mario, I didn't realize you and I are so alike. I didn't realize it. I never knew that, but I think we were pretty much really alike.
Yes, that's why we get along so well.
I'm hardcore. I can count my friends on my one hand, and I'm okay. I don't think you need to have a lot of friends, but my friend Richard, may he rest in peace. This is the argument we used to have all the time. He said my standards are too high, and I was like, your standards are too low. And he learned that really the hard way, because when he got in trouble, the only people he was one of these people. He would be in an airport in Singapore, and he would know somebody. Everybody knew Richard. Everybody knew who he was, no matter where he was in the world. Everybody would know this really tall, black, beautiful man. They would always know him, and he thought those were all friends. And when he got in trouble, and he got in trouble. He was accused of sexual harassment. That did not happen. I love him, and I trust him. You know what I mean? He was my ride or die. He was one of my ride or dies. But he got accused of sexual harassment. Everybody gone except for two of us. And thousands of people that he thought were his friends. And we were there. We got you. We're here for you. And he lost his job over there. You know what I mean? This was a big deal. Yeah. A huge, big deal. But that's what happens. Like, the test of your friendship isn't when things are easy, but it's when things were hard. Now, did he make some mistakes along the way? He absolutely did. And you being in the education field, I always think about this, Cynthia. My 7th grade teacher took me in. I lived in her apartment. If that happened today, teachers would be accused of everything under the sun. But that was my saving grace. I was taken to school by my 3rd grade teacher in a car. He would pick me up and drive me so I'd make sure I would go to school. You know what I mean? It's just like things have changed now. But even back then, if people knew what teachers were doing back then, I think even teachers, we can talk about teachers on another day, but I'm just saying they are so disrespectful. And so in the things that they do to try to save their children and always go above and beyond. That is
not just teachers. It starts from the office all the way to the teachers. Truly.
Yep. Shout out to Abbott Elementary. Boom.
Oh, great show, right?
Because that's what they talk about that all the time.
But they really should do more on The Office, because The Office has some really funny stories.
They got the juice.
Yes, we really do. But, I'll have to send an email and be like, you need to bring me on.
Right. Yeah, but it's that thing too. Like, I don't want to switch it over to talking about teachers, but it's that same thing, is you don't realize it's not just about learning math or learning English or going to gym or whatever. It's like teachers, for me, went above and beyond, and literally my saving grace as to why I am here today. It's not even a question, you know? Yeah. But I don't know. Relationships are hard. Okay, let me ask you this thing. Do you guys have a great or miserable story of a friend that you miss? I'll start. I had a friend that I used to hang out with all the time. We used to go to dinner all the time. We used to go at least once a month to and I wouldn't say I'm a foodie, but I love going to expensive restaurants. And I remember even at that time, I was like saving my money, because this woman, she could go, because she got money. We would go out to eat, and you want to do halves and halves, whatever. And somewhere along the way, something happened where I heard she talked about a group of people. She's Jewish, and she talked about Palestinians a certain way. And I was like, ooh, because if you talk about any group of people in a certain kind of way, that's all I need to know. because I can easily, you know what I mean? Like you can't be and me not think at some point it's not going to come towards me.
Right.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And so I always think about that. I feel bad because that friendship ended and it ended pretty slowly, but I was like, oh, I can't make it. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I couldn't confront it because I was just like not in that space. But I always think about how much fun we used to have. We would go, we'd be like checking out the guys. You know, it's like we had wingman kind of thing happening. It was just a fun thing. And then, but that one thing switched it up. And to this day, I still can't stand her.
Oh,
I mean, I
wow.
don't talk to her or anything, but I see some things that she posts or whatever, and I'm like, you bigoted, no good for nothing, racist. You know what I'm saying? I think of that in my head. Yeah. I don't know if you guys have any stories like that. Go ahead, Rick.
I was just thinking about somebody who this was, mind you, 3rd grade into 4th grade. So I was young and dumb, but in the 3rd grade, I had this girl named Lori that I liked her.
Lori.
She
Hey,
liked
Lori.
me.
Shout out, Lori.
Shout out to Lori.
We considered each other boyfriend and girlfriend at that young age. But like we would say, oh, that's my boyfriend, that's my girlfriend. Da, da, da. Then 4th grade came, I didn't even exist. And when I said one time in front of her friends, oh, that's my girlfriend, they all laughed. So that
Oh, dang. She put you down like a bad habit. I'm sorry.
did.
Yeah,
I was in the 3rd
Cold
grade.
blooded. No, that's cold blooded.
bad habit.
I'm sorry, friend. That is cold blooded.
I'm gonna use it. But you know what I love? He over here talking about the 3rd and 4th grade. That's so
I
cool.
know.
It's like breaking my heart.
The 1st grade, when I had my first quote girlfriend. Her name was Kimberly, and then
In 1st grade, you had a girlfriend.
You are a pimp and a player. Look at you.
Right.
Here in the lane.
Yo, I had 2 girls from the neighborhood that literally right in front of me,
You better get to the neighborhood, Rick.
fought each other in front of me.
Not
He's a man,
fighting.
he's a man. Oh, literally,
You
right in
better
front
get
of me.
it.
Lord Jesus.
My first boyfriend, I was in the 7th grade. I just want to throw that out there. You were in the 1st grade flirting around being a hoe. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I knew anything about anything at that age. But the funny story was, I found out she was moving away. And then my dad, we were going to pick up my mom, and I was saying, oh, she's going to move away. This really stinks. I don't know what I'm going to do. And my dad's, well, what you going to do? You're not going to be able to see her no more. And I said, 1st grade again. I said, I'm going to call the cops and have them try to bring her to me or whatever. I don't know what that, something like that. I was going to call the I was in 1st grade. I didn't know nothing.
Reported to the lost and found. Bring her back.
Rick, we got to get you out dating or something. We got to get you out. We got to get you out.
He said that was the 1st grade now. He all right.
In
He all
3rd
right.
grade. I don't even remember 1st and 3rd grade.
I do.
I do. I remember all my teachers too.
I remember my teachers. I don't remember being like in love with anybody or.
I just remember certain people. Like you can't forget a person's name by the name of, what was her name? Sanquanita. You can't forget a name like that.
Sanquanita.
Her name was Sanquanita. I won't say her last name, but yeah.
You don't have to. Sanquanita is probably.
I'm sure there's not a lot of them out there.
Right.
Who else is named Sanquanita? Yeah, that's a cool name.
Hey, I'm still friends with somebody from 1st grade. I send them Christmas cards to his parents and him every year.
I didn't get a Christmas card.
Right?
Yeah, from the 1st grade.
Handmade
You
cards.
know how you can engage friends? Send some of those cards out.
That's the
Yeah,
best
send me your
Christmas
address.
thing.
Send me your address.
It's coming.
Okay.
Matter of fact, her birthday's coming up. You can send a birthday card.
Oh, when's your birthday, Alma?
It's in February.
The beginning of February.
February.
The 3rd.
I'm not gonna remember.
She didn't forget. Cynthia remembered.
I won't remember. Cynthia gonna remember. Okay, Cynthia, you're gonna send her a card, right?
Yes, I need your address.
Okay, don't.
you.
Yeah, just
Not
here.
here.
Give it later.
Not here.
Is Mario's March?
Mine is March. Mine, my mom, my uncle, my grandfathers. We were.
What?
Is it the 21st?
Dang, you were good.
Ooh.
Boom.
I'm not gonna. Okay, Cynthia, can you tell me? Can you send it to me so I can put it in my calendar and then pretend I remember both Alma and Mario? I couldn't even remember Rick's, and I've known Rick now for 4 years. All I know it's in January, and I was like, January 5th, January 4th. Remember, I was like,
Yeah. March
again, the only
21st.
person who matters when it comes to birthdays. I'm so sorry.
The
Next
shade
week,
of it
we
all.
were evacuated on my birthday. I just want to say it was a horrible birthday. It was a good birthday because we were fine.
Because you were
You're
safe.
fine. Your house is fine. You made it through. It was a great
We
birthday.
made it through. I was grateful.
Jimmy
Blah,
Choos
blah,
are safe. Yep.
The shoes are good.
My
She
shoe.
said,
Yeah.
she said the Jimmy
Choos.
shoes are safe.
Safe.
You know what? I don't even wear them anymore. I have to sell them or get rid of them because it's
But
not.
they're safe. That's all that matters.
I know, but I don't even need them. I don't wear heels anymore. And I have so many of them. I should probably get rid of them, but that's not going to happen anyways.
Now, I got to tell you one story, Alma, and I can tell you recently, we had a couple that we were, we're friends with them still somewhat, but we had a really big, we were like brothers, sisters. We ran everywhere. We did everything together, and we had the biggest falling out because, again, not taking accountability for something that you did. And all I was asking was, hey, this happened. You did it. You didn't do it. Can you just say, I messed up? Double down. I didn't do that. You're gaslighting me. I didn't do that. So I was like, cool. So I started slowly pulling away like you, Carmen. I did. Hey, can you come to this? Can't make it. Got other plans. Hey, we're having dinner. What? My calendar, dang, it's already full. Give me next time. So finally, I just phased myself out. And then, what was it, almost 3 years later, they called me and said, hey, I really miss you. I don't know why we fell out. But I'm like, you do, but okay.
I do. Let me remind you 3 years later.
Because it was like, let me refresh your memory. And then he invited me to dinner. We sat down. He apologized for everything, took accountability for everything. I really miss you, and Alma. I miss Marissa. Can we just forget all that and just start right now? I tell you what, let me ease my way back into this.
Yep.
I said, because now at this point, I don't miss you. At this point, life has gone on. At this point, you're a non-factor. No shade, but you're a non-factor. So yeah, let's work on the friendship again. We can start talking. We can start texting slowly. So that's where we are with that. We're slowly working our way back. Not to say I don't want to be friends again, but now you've shown me. Now I have to come at you with a different angle. And
You know what? I can forgive you, but that doesn't mean you need to be back in my life. And I'm
No, but yeah,
I understand
normally
the
I'm that
apologize
way.
to you and stuff. I think that's cool. But for me, I've had that not similar situation, but time happens and then something happens and then I'm done. And I can't switch it back on. I appreciate the apology. I appreciate everything you said. And I wish we could be friends again, but something's changing me. I'm really hardcore about that. It's hard for me. I appreciate what you're saying, but it's hard for me to especially because here's the thing. And this I do believe, and I wish if anybody's listening to this, that they hear me. When you let toxicity out of your life,
you don't want to.
Something else comes right back in to fill it in. Something else better, purer. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm telling you, this has happened to me so many times when I have let go of people who are just not with me. They're not doing it right for me. Something else has taken that place, and it's always been better. You don't have to raise
7:03.
I don't know what 7:03 is.
It's the time we've done an hour.
Oh, Rick has been telling me. I know. I got you.
Oh, okay.
Started a little bit late. Did you say 7:03?
Yes.
What's 7:03?
The time.
Your time.
Oh my God. I thought it was, wait. Because you know what? In my head, I'm still thinking East Coast because it's Cynthia and Rick. You know what I mean?
What color is your cup today?
Right.
The cup today.
It's water.
What color is the cup?
No, what's in the cup?
No, it depends on the color of the cup.
It's water.
Yep.
It's water. No, you know what? Because I've been writing all of the promos and I've been trying to do all these little things. I'm trying to, anyways. And so I'm always thinking East Coast time. Because even people in Europe, it's easier for them to understand New York time to base our time off of. That's what one of my friends told me. So I'm sorry. I was like, is 7:03 like a code?
Literally the time. That's all. Just the
Okay,
time.
literally the time.
Yeah,
California.
yeah.
All right. All right. Well, so we'll wrap this up. Thank you so much. I think that was a cool, fun conversation just about friendships. And I think relationships are really hard. I think friendships are, I think people have to have a very full understanding of what friendship means to them. Because I think people confuse, like what Alma said earlier, friendships versus acquaintances. And so maybe next time we can get into another whole conversation about relationships in general with spouses, with boyfriends, Jamal, with what
Most
else?
definitely.
Wherever you are, Jamal, we looking for you, bro.
Yeah, Jamal is not in the house today. But with that, I'll say good night to everyone. Or I should say good afternoon, because this will be airing on Sunday in the afternoon. But thank you so much, Cynthia, for stopping by. Rick, also. And it's always a pleasure, Marion Almas. For right now, say good night, everyone. And remember, it really is
Good
all
night.
about the
All
joy.
about the joy.
The joy. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for stopping by All About the Joy. Be better and stay beautiful, folks. Have a sweet day.